We're getting some headlines from Reuters that the new incoming president of Mexico says that he feels confident that the U.S. and Mexico can reach an agreement on NAFTA negotiations in the coming days. It's unclear exactly what he's referring to, whether this is an agreement on the entirety of what the U.S. has put forward or whether it's a more narrow agreement on just one part of the deal, like autos and content requirements and where certain parts come from, and whether there's a wage requirement for factory workers on either side of the border. Those have been discussed, and those have been at issue in these talks. Also unclear where Canada figures into this. U.S. Trade Representative confirming our reporting from yesterday that the talks to be held here in Washington on Thursday will just be the U.S. and Mexico. And we've learned from sources that the strategy is essentially to reach a bilateral deal and then try to get Canada to come to the table.
That would be an interesting, another positive trade step if we got it. Kayla, we also just want to ask you about the reports of the Treasury Department's considering bypassing Congress to cut $100 billion in taxes through changes to those capital gains liabilities. What's the latest on that?
Well, Treasury is evaluating the economic impact of this as well as the legal authority to do this. But it's worth noting that they do have some high-level support for this within the administration. NEC Director Larry Kudlow, Budget Director Mick Mulvaney, as well as Vice President Mike Pence, who sponsored a bill to do just this when he was on the Hill back in 2006. Also some notables on Capitol Hill who support this. Conservatives like this policy because they feel like it gets investors to sell buildings, companies, stocks right now. The government gets that tax revenue, and then investors redeploy that money back into the stock market. So it pays for itself. That's their argument. Penn Wharton, for its part, estimated it costs about $102 billion over 10 years, that 86% of the benefit goes to the top 1% of earners. We've seen Democrats seize on some of those statistics already. But what we're hearing is that there is broad support for this within the administration. They're just figuring out how to do it.